Okay, we have you here. Hi there,
Hi.
Clementine. It's so great
Hi.
having you here today. Thank you so much for coming on this call with us today. And I'm so sorry for the inconvenience caused. I actually had the date saved as today, 8 p.m. for some reason on my calendar. So I'm so sorry for that inconvenience caused there.
No worries, no worries. I'm glad we can make it work.
All right, cool. So I'm so excited that you're here today, and I'm so excited for the conversation that we're going to have. So before we kickstart the conversation, I just wanted to introduce you to everyone here, as well as to our potential viewers and listeners who are going to watch this recording later on. So here we have Clémentine Desseaux, who is a model, entrepreneur, and activist. Clémentine is the founder of the All Womxn Project that established a platform for women to support body positivity, representation, empowerment, as well as self-acceptance. Her entrepreneurial spirit enabled her to create adjacent careers by creating a lifestyle blog reflecting her brand titled bonjourclem.com. Moreover, Harper's Bazaar has recognized her as a face to watch, and Vogue has also recognized her as the top 10 plus size models to follow. She has starred in campaigns for Levi's, H&M, Macy's, Nordstrom, Express, Nike, Anthropology, and even spoke at her first TED Talk in April 2019 in Edinburgh, Scotland. This globetrotting activist, entrepreneur, and model continues to combine her French roots, brave heart, and unique style to build her empire. So, with all this being said, Clementine, you've done so much of amazing things in your life, and we're also inspired, hearing about this and following you on our socials. So, I just wanted to ask you as the first question, what was the pivotal moment in your life that made you take the phenomenal decision of becoming a body positivity activist?
Well, let me say first, you're great. You talk really nicely. It's really nice. I
Thank you
like
so
you're
much.
great at what you do. I don't know if there was like one pivotal moment. It was probably a series of mini ones. But I remember when I had just moved to Miami about 10 years ago. I was featured in my first big job in France, and I was the first plus size model on TV in France and promoting like a brand for a bigger woman. And it was a lot of backlash when he came out. A lot of French women and people were just really angry to see someone fat on TV and, just dancing and showing skin and being all like cool about it. And so that was really hard. And so I got a lot of messages following this commercial when I was here in Miami, and they started like telling me like, woman was like, oh my god, like seeing you on TV kind of changed my life because like you look like me, and that means like if you're on TV, I'm on TV too. It means I'm beautiful too. It means I'm worth it. And it's the first time that I had this thing with like random strangers like telling me that just seeing me like changed their life. And I was kind of just, I didn't understand it at first, but then I was like, this is amazing. And that's kind of when I started to take it seriously, because before that I still thought that modeling would just be hobby and fun, and I never thought I could be a professional model ever before that. And then when that happened, I was like, well, not only I can get paid to be cute, but then I can change people's life, and that's pretty fucking amazing. So I would say that was definitely like the first time I decided that, body positivity and just like self-acceptance and promoting those values were like what I wanted to do.
That is literally so inspirational because there are so many people out there who cannot get into their dream careers because of their certain features. And I feel so bad because there are even people in my community who cannot do that because I'm an Indian, I'm a person of color. But, because of these characteristics that we are born with, a lot of people are not willing to accept it. But it's really great when we see someone represent us on television or on billboards, and you've done that for people out there who have struggled with this. So I'm really very excited to know more from you. So now I'd like to give the opportunity to Jamie to ask her question to Clementine. So Jamie, you may go ahead.
Hi, Clementine. So my question to you is, when did you have your big break and what was it all about?
My big break. I don't know if I had one big break. I felt like I had kind of like multiple small ones as well. But I guess I would say, that French commercial was a big break for me. That was my first ever job that everybody saw. Like every single of my friends, every single of their parents, every single people I knew seen that. So that was pretty big for me. That was very early on in my career. But then I would say later, I just feel like being featured in Vogue probably was like a big moment. But it's a big moment like for your ego, but it's really not a big moment for real, because not a lot of people actually see that. It's like, it's great because, that's what your agent tell you you should do, but it's not as great because nobody is really reading Vogue anymore. Nobody gives a fuck. And it's like, I'd much rather like, go viral on a platform like that millions of people are seeing and paying attention to, that speaks about things that are real, rather than just like a beautiful page in Vogue US, right? So I guess it was a big moment, but like to me, like I think when everything changed really, for my career, but also personally, was when I created All Womxn Project. Like with that first campaign that we had, it went viral. Like people like all over the globe like message us, like it was insane. And that to me was really life changing, because I was like, 500 million people have seen our images. That's insane. So to me, that was really like the most exciting part, because not only that many people saw it and more, but also like it was meaningful. Like there was meaning behind it, and there was attention behind it. And it really changed my career, because I felt like before I was already somewhat of a voice in the industry, but after I became one of the leader about those subjects in my industry. And also like I feel like brands started working with me for more than just my pretty face and my sexy curves. It was really like for what I was talking about. Like they were really interesting into having me on their side to like talk about the subject and represent their brand. So that became more interesting to me as well in terms of the type of job that I got. It was very, very cool, and like people knowing what I'm into, like they stopped talking to me about how beautiful I am, and they started talking to me about how meaningful what I'm doing is. So that was really, really nice. Yeah.
It's great to know how you started off and how the journey has been through it all.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Clementine.
Oh,
My
hi.
question, my question to you was, you're also a model, and there are so many young individuals out there who want to become models, but often certain features within themselves, like their weight, skin color, and height, often discourage them from everything out because of the fear and judgment and criticism. What is one piece of advice you'd like to give to all these young boys and girls out there?
Oh, uh, there's one great thing that I can use to illustrate that answer. I grew up thinking that I was unfit, that I was too big. People were making fun of my freckles, of my big lips, of my curves, telling me I was just not pretty, not interesting, that I wasn't worthy. And now all those features are the reason why I'm successful. And all those features are the reason why I have the career I have today. And also, all those features make me love myself today. So I think everything is temporary and everything is a trend. So don't get too hung up on whatever people say it's not cool about you right now. Because not only it might be cool later, but most importantly, you probably will learn to just love all of your feature, and that would never matter again what other people think about it. And I think if you feel like, apply to modeling, if you feel like modeling is what you want to try, then you should absolutely try regardless of what people say. And it does not mean it's going to work, and it does not mean you're going to have a career, but if you feel it in your heart, 100% you should try, because especially now the industry is changing in a way that pretty much anyone can become anything. And heights and weights and skin color and features are not that much of a deal breaker as they used to be in the 80s and in the 90s and early 2000s, when you had to be skinny, tall, blonde, white, and perfect, like white European features to like succeed. Like it's changing a lot. So I think like if you want to try, now is a good time.
That was really impressive. And I'm sure most of us who had been discouraged because of the fear of judgment would now be able to become part of the model industry. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, hi, Clementine. I'm Jennifer. First of
Hi.
all, it's so great to be talking to you. I mean, I'm just listening, and as a teenager myself, it's really cool to actually see someone out there representing every, people from all parts of the community. So first of all, just kudos to you for everything that you do and your words. And moving forward to my question, well, so you're also the CEO of All Womxn Project. So what has it been like running such a meaningful charity?
Okay, so it's changed a lot since before COVID. So before COVID, it was a lot of work because we had events in multiple groups all across the countries every month. So we had to just do a lot of like partnership reach out, trying to get funding for our yearly campaigns, monthly event, get free product, book speakers, organize workshop, come up with ideas for social media. I mean, it was a whole bunch of stuff. And now it's much less work because we haven't resumed our events yet. We're hoping to in September. So hopefully in September in New York and Miami, we'll have monthly group events again. But so far, it's really only social media right now because the partnership reach out has dried out. Companies don't want to give their money out to charities anymore right now. And so it's really hard. So I guess there's work there for me, but it's not as smooth as it used to be. It's going to be a hard one, I think, to like get back to where we were. And then I think most of it is social media because we have throughout COVID did some really awesome like online campaigns, shoot from home and things like that with our community. So we're trying to like keep that going and organizing more. We actually have a collaboration, like a t-shirt collaboration with a really big brand coming up next month. Oh, actually end of this month. It's August. Yeah. End of this month. So we're really excited about that. So I take care of that mostly, but Jelena, which is my, right-hand woman, is doing a lot of the work, and she's handling our volunteers, and she's helping out with finding partners and coming up with ideas for social media. So she's doing a hell of a lot of work, and I could never run AWP without her. So I would say she definitely deserves the props for that.
Well, as an organization ourselves, I think social media is again one of our strongholds. We're all here today because of social media, so I completely get that. Thank you so much for your answer and all the best for your charity. I hope it reaches great.
Thank
and
you.
You can accomplish whatever you want. Thank you.
When I was just hearing you speak, Clementine, I was able to just think about my organization because whatever you said, it felt so parallel to my organization, United for Change, because, I started this organization during the pandemic, during August 20th. So, our first birthday is going to come up real soon. So, it was really hard, obviously, for us because I started this out during the pandemic. So, whatever you said that, how hard fundraising is, getting collaborations, I think I could really relate to that at this point because we as an organization too are struggling in order to get collaborations and in order to establish our presence. But like Jennifer said, I feel social media at this point is our strongest, hold, because that is what's keeping this organization together. That's what's getting our awareness and that's what's increasing our reach. And I think that's really important. And I was really inspired when you spoke about your organization, All Womxn Project. So my next question is going to be around that too. So I'm just really curious to know, what has been the most special achievement that All Womxn Project has accomplished? Or is there something special that All Womxn Project is looking forward to achieve in the long run?
I feel like everything's special. You'll see when you grow your organization, everything is so special when it works out. But I mean, I would say one of my personal favorite thing is to hear that pretty much every woman that we've worked with in our campaign, that is part of our community, that we put spotlight on, has grown to become like whatever they want it to be. Like a lot of them went into modeling, all of them are really successful, some of them went into acting, and all of them really grew like such a passion for empowerment and, you know, woman causes and self-love. And that to me is the best thing. I feel like every woman that works with us and cross our path is extra empowered in who she is now, and she wants to make a difference, and she wants to, you know, achieve our goals, and so that's the best. Like every time I see like women that worked with us for a campaign like just succeeding and being so like fully themselves and loving what they do, it just makes me really, really happy, and really proud to, you know, that I was able to like be that glue that kind of brought them to wherever they are now. So that's beautiful. And also I would say one of my favorite part about the charities are shooting our campaigns. But the last one was a while ago now. Like the last one we shot in studio with everyone was like probably 2019. So, but those moments, it's usually 1 or 2 full days with all the girls on set and everybody, and it's just so magical. Like everybody's hugging and loving each other and empowering each other and like cheering for each other, and there's a lot of cries and laughs, and just like it's beautiful. Like those days are like some of my best memories. So I really look forward to like shooting more of those.
That's a wonderful response. I really love how your charity is able to positively impact so many women out there. And I just hope that, you know, the women who are not yet being impacted by your organization get the opportunity to be impacted by it, because, you know, there are so many women out there who are not able to get into their dream careers or dream fields due to the fact that they live in a predominantly male dominated society. And it's very sad to see that they're not able to you know, put their potential out there. They are made to sit at home and work, just like as if that's their only job to do. And I feel really sad, you know, thinking about that. But I really love the work that All Womxn Project is doing, and I just hope that, you know, people, more women will get impacted by this and, you know, learn to accept their potential and, you know, the features that they're born with, and use it for the greater good of this world, because that's what's ultimately important. Because I really feel that women are really strong in and out and they can endure anything, but I just don't want them to be restricted to their homes. I want them to come out, you know, out there in the world and give it their all. So that was really an amazing response. Now I'd like to give the opportunity to Maya to ask her question.
So, hey Clémentine, I've just loved listening to all your answers. And so my next question is this. As a model, is there something you'd wish you had known before you first started out as a model?
Sorry, repeat that. Is there something I wish I what?
Is there something you wish you had known before you started out as a model?
Yes. Well, first, I wish I had known that I could be a model, because even though I was starting, I thought it was just like, you know, like a hobby, like something that would last for like a year or two, like maybe make a little bit of money on the side and then be gone, you know? So I think like just knowing that I could be a model at my size as who I am, like that would have been really cool. I don't know if it would have made a change in my career, but that would have been really nice to just like have that empowerment. And also I wish I would have known that it's not as glamorous as it looks. It's really not, actually. It's like, it's mostly travels, mostly loneliness, mostly hotel food that is not good. But, you know, I mean, I love it because I feel like all the good like outweigh like the annoying stuff. Like, you know, you get to see the world, meet new people all the time, you're never bored, your job's always different, it's very active, you get like to stay in nice hotels, and you know, just it's cool. There's definitely cool parts, but it's not as glamorous. And I feel like people think it's such a cool life and models are so cool and they're just like, oh, it's perfect, and it's just not. Like but it's okay. You know what? I love that. I don't think like I needed to know that before I started, but it would have been nice to like not have expectations, I guess. of what it should be. And also, I wish that I knew how it would impact my self-growth and my self-esteem, and how much I would have to struggle to get away from like the whole being pretty thing. Like for me, it's been hard, like being seen as just like, as soon as you say you're a model, you're categorized, you know, in like the pretty but dumb category. And so that's been really hard for me to deal with, because I went to business school, I have a master's, I'm very educated, and so I started modeling later, you know, and so people just assume that I was just a model, and I didn't really have anything else to talk about besides how pretty I am and how cool it is to have your makeup done every day, you know? Like, so that's been really, really tough for me to just like handle, like how people treat you when you start saying you're a model. Even to this day, like whether it's on like dating apps or like questionnaires, I usually don't put model as like my first job, because, well, I don't want the conversation to surround that. And also I don't want to be judged before we even get a chance to talk. And yeah, so I usually put something else. That's because I feel like it's still very much of a struggle to be judged on that. So that's something I wish I had known. And I think I probably, I probably would have done the exact same thing if I knew that, but that was a bit brutal.
Thank you so much for your really interesting response. That's actually a really fruitful piece of advice for other young people who are thinking of actually becoming models. So thank you once again.
Thank you for that question.
Hey, Clementine. So the next
Hi.
question we have for you is that you're from France, and at United for Change, we have people from over 9+ countries, one of them being France. So what is something about the French culture that many people maybe outside France don't really know?
I think we are very sarcastic, very very brutal and straightforward. And I've seen that being a problem, and not only dating for me, because I don't date French people, I date different types. And so sometimes they think I'm rude. I'm really never rude. Like, I never mean to be rude, but sometimes I'm just very straightforward, very direct, and I have a lot of sarcasm, and not everybody can handle that. And I just find that in a lot of French people. Like, I think all my friends are like that. Like, all the people I know from back home are pretty much like that. So for me, for people to be shocked about that, it's crazy, because like, I'm French, like, you should know. Like, but so I guess that's one thing. And then also we do shower, because I know a lot of people think French people don't shower, don't wear deodorant. It's not true. I mean, sometimes, but mostly not true. And then, I mean, we do eat a lot of cheese, so I guess that's true. And sometimes we have cheese breath too. I mean, all the time. But yeah, so it's a few things. It's a few things. Also a funny thing, we don't French kiss. We just don't. I mean, I grew up my whole life in France. I never really, unless when I was maybe like young in middle school, I guess we tried, but it's not a thing. Like, I never really see like French people like in the street. Where I feel like here, like if you're French, they expect you to be like a pro at French kiss, and I'm just like, no, get away. So yeah, that's about it.
Thank you for that, wonderful. And it's actually really true. It's a very good response. And it actually gave us a really new point of view to look at France with. I personally knew France for its fashion, cuisine, and infrastructure mainly. And today I'm definitely taking back something new. So thank you once again.
You're welcome.
Hey, Clementine, it's Alicia.
Hi.
And firstly, I would like to say that you really inspired me, because I wanted to be an actor myself from really young, and I'm trying to find out things I can become. And when I came across your project, and when I first found out about you, I was just she is like the future me because activism is really dear to my heart. It's something I do want to get into. So, and with that, I could see that you were doing so many amazing things. Like you run a business, you run a blog, you are a fervent activist, and you do so many other things. So, I just want to know that how do you take care of your mental and physical health, and how do you balance everything with your endurers as well?
Oh, that's a great question. I honestly have to put time down for everything in my calendar. So, but also let me start with saying something is always gonna take a toll. So if you make time for, let's say, your workout, you might have to leave one of your projects on the side at some point, because honestly, like, as much as we like saying that we can do it all, we really can't. I mean, not all greatly. Like, I feel like most of the time I have too much shit going on to be good at everything. And sometimes I have to drop the ball on something, at least for a bit, so I can, focus on whatever is urgent. But I feel like when it comes to mental health and self-care, I have to put space in my calendar. Like, Jalina works with me, she knows if it ain't in the calendar, it does not exist. Like, it's like, don't tell me about it. If I don't see it, it doesn't exist. So I put my therapist in the calendar. So I train like 4 times a week with 2 different trainers. So like, I schedule in advance. Like every Sunday I check in with them to make sure we like, schedule hasn't changed. We can still do it because my schedule changes all the time. So it's like, I make sure I stay on top of my calendar and I follow it every day. I wake up, that's the first thing I see. Look at my calendar. I'm like, what the fuck do I have today? Call, workout, like therapist, like, okay. And then I plan my day like that. So I think to me, that's the only thing that works, because not only I'm lazy a bit, but also I'm very like clumsy and disorganized and all that. So if I don't have that tool, I'm a mess. I'm like, don't even, like, I can't do anything. Like, I need to have that at all times. And I think like prioritizing like that mental health and self-care, just like you prioritize your work appointment, is very important, because there's no reason why you shouldn't, right? Because if you don't feel right, like inside and out, you can't achieve anything. So, I think that's really, really important. And also your fun times. I even put when I hang out with my friends in my calendar. Just like, those are a bit more flexible, but like, I always, because I know I need that. I know I need that outlet. I know I need to see my best friends. I know I need to make time for them, and I know I need to see their kids and have some kid time. Like, so when you grow and you know what is really, really important for you, you make sure you make time for it. And sometimes that means, I have to work. Like, I'm starting my clothing line right now, and I've been feeling shitty about that because I haven't done all my own work that I needed to do before tomorrow, and I'm not ready before my next meeting. But I just had to like drop the ball on that for a little bit, because I needed time for other shit, and that included me dealing with a breakup that I'm dealing with right now. I needed just extra time to like do things, travel, like see my friends more. And just that took a lot of space, and I had to kind of let go of, this new project for a bit. But I'm going to go back on it. I think it's just prioritizing like what you really, really need is very important. Like, work does not have to be number one all the time. If you need something else, then you should definitely listen to yourself. But I wasn't able to do that when I was younger. Until I would say maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I was not able to do that. Even less than that. So it took me a while. I think when you grow old, you just know yourself so much better, and you just know your priorities so much better, and you know how to handle it too, and not feel guilty about it. Because to me, growing up, like, and even being a young woman, you always have this pressure to like succeed, be like super efficient, and do so many things, and it's a lot of fucking pressure. Like, and until like a couple years ago, I don't think I could really handle it well. Everything was before me. So like my company, my blog, my charity, my friends, my boyfriend, literally everything was before me. I was like the last thing on my checklist. And things have changed, thank God. And I'm much happier since they do. And I feel like being selfish is the best kind of self-care sometimes. You have to be caring for yourself before you care for others. So that's very important to keep that in mind.
That's so incredible. I agree with you. You know, life can get really hectic at times, and you tend to just put yourself like you're the last person you care about. Everything else matters. Even if you die, it's fine. It kind of gets really pressurizing at times. But I really admire the way you maintain such a frantic schedule and sustain such a wonderful balance, even when life just kicks you. And it's such a vital element in today's life because it's a common issue that many of us face. So thanks a lot for sharing that with us.
Of course, thank you so much.
Hi, Clementine.
Hi.
So my question for you is, what has been the highlight of your life in 2021, and what's one thing you would want to accomplish in 2022 when 2022 begins?
Oh, all right. So 2021 was supposed to be our new year, right? Like 2020 is over, fuck that shit. 2021 is great, but it hasn't been great. It has not. Like, it's like, we're still in a pandemic, we're still locked down. I still can't see my family. Like, my boyfriend broke up with me. I'm just like, I was promised a better year. But you know what? Okay, so that's the overall feeling, like my ego talking, but I just feel like it was actually pretty good in many ways. I started therapy again, which was great. Yes, I got broken up with, but honestly, for the last months, I'm finally getting over it, and I have discovered like myself more than I've had before ever. I've never been single before. It's my first time. And I'm loving it. I just learned to know myself, what I need, what I want, what I'm willing to accept, and what I'm not willing to accept. And that's, I think, questions that I really never got a chance to ask myself before. So I'm really happy, actually. Like, I was just thinking about it yesterday. Like, I just bought my first house. And I'm having so much fun being on my own here with my dog, and we're having dance party in the garden, and just like, it's awesome. So, I think discovering myself better this year is what's been the most, like, the coolest thing so far.
Well, congratulations on your new house. And thank you for sharing whatever you have been through this past year. And I wish you nothing but the best in all of your future endeavors.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Same to you.
Hello, Clementine.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
You're so beautiful today.
Thank you.
So, my question to you is, how do you deal with negativity and criticism when it comes to your body?
Okay, so there's two different types. There's negative criticism that come from outside, so social media, people around, society, whatever. And then there's negative criticism that come from inside, from yourself, just being judgmental and talking down to yourself and have low self-esteem. So I think there's two ways, right? So, well, the first one is actually the easiest one, really, because it comes from people that are outside of you. Their thoughts are not valid. It's not truth. It's only theirs, and you can't be responsible for it. So as you grow, like, you understand that it's really hard when you're younger because what people think really affects you. But now I couldn't care less. I don't give a shit. Like, it does not affect me in any way. I can read all the shit on social media. It does not even like get to me. I have a thing. I always say, delete, block, bitch. So anything that I don't like, I delete, I block, it's gone. So I think it's a good way to see it, because like what people think of you, negative thoughts, anything negative, really belongs to them, and most often it reflects how they feel about themselves. So it's not even personal. So once you understand that, then you're free from like what other people think, and that's really awesome. And then the second part is the negative criticism that comes from you, from yourself, about yourself, and that is really hard to get rid of. And I won't lie, that takes a lifetime. I'm 33. I've been doing what I do for 12 years. Even though I'm an advocate for stuff like that, I still have a hard time. Like, negative criticism is my main enemy. Like, I am my main enemy when it comes to that. I'm so judgmental to myself. I always expect more. I'm never satisfied. I talk down to myself sometimes. And that's really hard. And I feel like now what's good is that I know how to stop it and I know how to work on it so it happens less. But it's still very unhealthy and it's still very painful, like, to feel like your disappointment to yourself, because that's the worst feeling in the world. So I would say just like being aware that is a thing even is life-changing. Once you're aware, you can start working on things. So understanding that is number one. Accepting it is number two, because it's never going to go away fully. There's always going to be, like, even now, I feel like most of the time I'm great with myself. Like 80% of the time we're like best friends. But the other 20%, it's full of doubt, self-doubt, criticism, like negative talks. So it happens. Like, accepting that it's going to keep happening is very important. And then just learning how to handle it. Like, when you start feeling like that, like, you have to put in place thoughts and techniques and tricks that you do to yourself, so then you get out of that. So that's what you learn when you grow old and you get to know yourself better. You're gonna have like a better grasp on what those techniques are, to not feel like that for too long. Instead of feeling like that for days, maybe you feel like that for an hour and then you get over it. So that's the beautiful part about just, knowing yourself more. Like, you're gonna get a better handle on those negative like thoughts coming from yourself.
Thank you so much. That's real awesome.
You're welcome. You're super sweet.
So with that, we come to the end of our Q&A session with Clementine. Clementine, I was so inspired. I know I'm so sad myself because I wanted this to go on, but unfortunately it comes to an end. But if you guys have any other questions you want to ask Clementine, please go ahead. Go and ask your impromptu questions, because this conversation has literally been so much fun. Clementine, I really love your personality and your attitude. You have such a fun personality, and I'm pretty sure you're a very fun person to hang around with, because it's been a really long time since I've had this much fun. And literally, I'm really delighted by how today's conversation turned out. So I just wanted to know your thoughts. How did you feel about this?
Oh, thank you. That's really sweet. I really have a lot of fun. I didn't really know what to expect coming in. And I'm very surprised like how amazingly like talkative you guys are, and how good your questions are, and how organized you guys are. That's also really amazing. And I love answering the questions because they were really deep and very interesting and very empowering, and it actually made me feel good about myself as well. So that was really nice. And I just love like getting to see so many like young faces that are interested in those kinds of subjects, and it makes me really feel like warm and happy. And I had a lot of fun too.
We're so happy you feel this way, and I just want to wish you the best of luck for all of your future endeavors, for All Womxn Project, for all your future modeling projects, and for everything that you're gonna, that you're taking on for the future. I wish you all the best in advance, and I just hope it all goes well according to your plan.
Thank you so much. I wish every single one of you all the best in knowing yourself, loving yourself, and just achieving your goals one at a time.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so much. You've been so kind to us.
You're so welcome.
So with that, we come to the end of our second episode with Clémentine Desseaux, and I'm so excited for all the future episodes that we are having. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Clémentine, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on with us today.
Of course, my pleasure.
Us too. Take care. We hope you're safe and you're well. So take care. Bye, and see you soon someday.
Bye, guys. Have a great day.